This week, we talk tail tagging. Kelsey has a chat with Koshi, author and illustrator of Confinement comics, and we'll play Don't Blink and Two Truths with Little Dutch Person. Since our last episode, biologists discovered a new species of marine life in the ocean. It reproduces by tearing off its own reproductive organs, eating them, and regurgitating them blindly into the void of the abyss. And it still gets more action than SCP Unredacted.
Every day is a struggle. Every day is a trial. Every day is a failure. I have to walk another mile. I'll go wherever you go. Every day is a heartbeat. Every day another moan. Every day is a gallows. I can feel it in the bone. I'm alone. Take me home. As you make the bed, so you must lie. Every day is a rabbit trap and a walk of the lamb. Do you think you can sue me for that? As a judge of the land, I'll go wherever you go. This life doesn't go well with me. I'm not a member of the band. Do you think you can like me despite that sitting on God's right hand? I'm alone. Take me home. As you make the bed, so we must lie.
Greetings, Cosmic Explorers.
I'm Kelsey.
I'm Cassie.
I'm Noli, the K is silent, and this is SCP Weekly.
Legal notice. By listening to this podcast, you give express permission for entry into a parallel universe dance-off. Failure to dance may result in spontaneous combustion. What have we been up to for the last couple of weeks?
I've mainly been constantly reorganizing my room in my free time. Because I don't know what kind of background I'm supposed to give or a proper setting, and it's every time I think oh, I'm good with this setup, I'm always no, I want to move stuff over here, and it's just the autism in my brain.
Yeah.
I wanted to have my regular background, but my curtains are multicolored and butterflies and things. I'm I want new curtains first. But I do like just a plain backdrop.
So you're just using it as an excuse to get new curtains, is what you're saying?
I don't think that's a thing. That sounds weird. I don't think anybody has ever done that. Yeah,
What?
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It's my money. I can do what I want with it.
You're
Shut
a
up.
grown-ass woman. God damn.
Yeah, I have adult money now.
I have been ridiculously busy over the last 2 weeks.
We couldn't tell.
No, yeah, not at all. Started with some other things, but the big news, and I put on one of the Twitters this week, big news, big news, and then big news. So the big news is merch. SCP branded merch. So I'll put it up on the screen for the folks watching on YouTube, and then for everybody listening on the podcast, we'll throw it on our Patreon channel where everybody can see it. The Candor Need, Prim and Proper Legal Solutions, that's Primrose, Faddish Von Treble, and the Horror of Blood branded merch, which is up right now. In the process of putting up the new stuff, I accidentally nuked everything that was already there. So, yeah, so those are the 3 brands that we have up, and coming soon, we'll have Arcadia, all the different Arcadia brands throughout the years. Then we'll have Marshall, Carter, and Dark. And one other one. What was the other one? Parawatch. Parawatch.
Yeah.
So all of this is going to be available first on the Unredacted store. If you go to the SCP Unredacted YouTube channel, there's a Spreadshirt store underneath the videos. So all this is going there first. Should be up on Etsy within the next 2 weeks, and within a month, I should have the Amazon store set up. So there'll be Unredacted store in 3 different locations where you go and grab the merch. So that's part one of it. Part two of it is I'm working with the creators. So for Victim, it's Grigori Karpin. For Horror Blood stuff, it's Fantem. For Arcadia stuff, it's Jackal related. The creators are getting a cut, and I'm trying to tweak the formula to make sure that it's fair for everybody involved. But as of right now, the creators are getting 65% the net from all the sales, no matter what the platform is, and it's legal. So there are, all the paperwork is above board. It's all legit, and creators are, when the merch starts moving, creators are getting paid with actual money, not extra merch, not exposure.
Money!
We're actually going to be able to give them money for what they're making. So, which is, 3 years in the making for me. I've been trying to get to the point where I can start being that contributor to the SCP community, and I think we're the door is cracking open, and we're taking the first steps in right now. So the big and the big news, we'll talk later, but that's what I got right now.
That's just the big news?
That's just the big news, yeah.
Bigger news?
There's bigger news.
Oh, man.
There's bigger news, and it's coming later. So that's what I've been up to for the last 2 weeks. It's been eating my life. Anyway, before we get to on-site news, Lord Blackwood presents.
Ladies and gentlemen, gather round as I unveil the musings of our modern-day critics. This is a thoroughly non-memorable magic broadcast type thing. The details of the actual athletic events didn't stand out, and the commentary was generic alien talk. -1. My dear fellow, ridiculing a foreign language, a vessel of culture and heritage, is a grave offense against the very essence of enlightenment and understanding. Languages are the repositories of ancient wisdom and the unique identity of their speakers. To mock them is to display a lamentable lack of respect for the diversity of our world and its rich tapestry of cultures. Allow me to recount one such time I was impressed upon by such an alien culture. Amidst the exotic wilds, I was offered a native concoction extolled as their version of high-class cognac, or possibly brandy. The anticipation of refined indulgence faded swiftly upon tasting the brew. Its discordant medley of flavors clashed upon my palate, a stark contrast to the elegance of fine spirits in Victorian parlors. The natives, oblivious to my grimace, regarded it with reverence. Despite its lack of refinement, I marveled at the cultural chasm, realizing taste, like culture, is a tapestry woven with diverse threads. Though unsuitable to my discerning palate, the experience underscored the richness of human traditions, each sip a testament to the diversity of the world. Which brings me to our next piece of critique. Boring Dumbo. One can't help but admire the audacity of these critics as they distill their distaste into a singular jumble of words. I would not care to indulge in a concoction so hastily and recklessly combined. Perhaps our next comment will be more refined. As I said in chat, this thing is just too generic a death artifact for me to really care for. The connection is just meh, and the rest just looks like it's using site mythos to excuse a lackluster idea. While criticism has its place, let us not forget that it takes courage to embark on a creative voyage, and even failure can be a valuable discovery. To the art of writing, my dear friends, where even the harshest tides can carry us to the shores of creativity.
Cassie, what's going on site? What's the big deal about tail tagging?
Fucking Blackwood kills me. Absolutely destroys me every time. It's so good. There's 5,000 tails on the site, and according to Lord XVNV, SCPs have roughly 2.2 times to 2.5 times the number of votes as tails. Very rough estimate due to Google Analytics broken at the time. So the push is to get tails more visibility by increasing their discoverability through tags. For the last few years, there has been a project by the collections sub-team to create tail tags. This project has stalled for the last year or so due to widespread burnout. Under this proposal, the following users will be allowed to tag tails: staff, former staff in good standing, any user with one successful page on the site, any user who has an idea greenlit, any user who has passed a crit flight, any user a member of staff, including JS, deems capable of doing so. According to the proposal, the barrier to entry into tail tagging should be extremely low. The permissions are broad to allow for as many users to aid this endeavor while still requiring that the user be integrated enough into the site to understand it. There's a lot of great discussion about the inclusion of race/ethnicity and LGBTQ+ tags in the thread, and whether the effort should be extended to include all other articles, including SCPs. If you want to join in the conversation, jump in through the link in the show notes or respond to our Twitter poll. Was it a good idea to include racial and ethnic tags into the tail tagging effort? How did the Spanish branch contest go, Nolan?
Congratulations to Oniric, Shogun Soldier, and Nihonio for their entry Aberración de Mika, which translates to Dermal Aberration, for winning the SCP ES Branch 300 contest. The theme was monsters, and the article came out on top of 31 total entries with 40 votes. Cassie, you want to tell us about all the new skips?
I did double check, so I'm glad I left that note for myself in the script. There are 37 new SCPs as of this episode. None with over 100 upvotes. Yeah. None over 50 either. This is really depressing. What the fuck? Also, there are 14 new tales. Same with none over 100 or over 50. I swear to God, this website must be wrong. It can't possibly be possible that no one reads these things, can it? I don't understand how they're all so low rated. All of them? There's 37.
Might still be contest fatigue.
We're going to be saying contest fatigue for like the next 3 years.
Bro, it's like we talk about a contest every episode.
Yep.
I mean, just wait until they give the SCP-8000 contest in like 6 months.
Y'all ready to pull some all-nighters?
Yeah. gonna have to. Gonna take 2 weeks off from work. Just fucking read and sleep and nothing else. Read, sleep, cigarettes, coffee, pizza rolls.
We don't have an opinion this week yet. Picture, if you will, a world where the laws of grammar hold no sway, and where sensible storytelling relinquishes the reins to absurdity. As we step into this bizarre landscape, be prepared to question your understanding of language and logic, for what lies ahead is a descent into the surreal, the bewildering, and the dreadful. Abandon hope, all ye who enter. These are
Tales from the Deepwell.
Object class, Euclid. Item class. Special containment procedures. SCP is to be kept inside a 5x5 foot box at all times. All personnel are trained strictly to avoid mind-bending effects. If any personnel who interacts with SCP refers to them as Jesus, God, Messiah, or Lord and Savior, they are to be immediately amnesticized with Class B amnestics and sent on 5 months' leave with special supervision. If the personnel attempts to breach SCP even after being amnesticized, they will be immediately. Description: SCP is a white male who is approximately 5'1" to 5'5" with bright brown hair and a trim beard. SCP always wears white robes with a red mantle. SCP will sometimes appear with a halo over his head. Any attempts to take the halo will end with an extremely violent fight in which SCP always wins. SCP is extremely polite unless provoked by attempts to take pieces of his clothing, steal his halo, question his intentions, reference any Holy Bible, and question his authenticity. SCP does not make any signs of attempting to leave. Rather, he will begin running in the middle of any conversation with him or any other personnel. SCP has weak reality-bending abilities such as turning water into wine, walking on water, and curing any disease. SCP claims he is able to do anything, but has never shown the ability to do such. SCP also has a strong cognohazard disability to make people believe he is the one and only God, as well as attempt to help him breach. SCP has shown extreme strength, stamina, and durability, but despite all his superhuman abilities, he is a terrible fighter, and almost all people come out with minor injuries. More research is currently being done to see SCP's true origins, but so far nothing has come of it. Note: SCP is to never be within 100 meters of SCP-343 for risk of extreme chaos. Signed, 05.
There are no words.
Somebody watched Sedition. That episode of Sedition, somebody watched
my
that.
God.
And was like, I'm going to write an SCP about this.
So it's White Jesus?
That's pretty much what it's
Yeah.
Let's take a break before we go off-site.
Thanks to our sponsor, Dado's Sleepy Time Snooze 'em Up pill. Dado appreciate good snooze, and so when man say, want the good snooze pill, Dado is say, I have already made for you, yes, this good medicine for make the long Z. As always, we appreciate the generous contribution to the show. Side effects include existential snoring, dreamscape infiltration, cat magnetism, time traveler's dilemma, perceived communication with houseplants, although they really don't seem to pay attention to anything you have to say. And what's up with that? Because they're houseplants, for Christ's sake. What the hell else do they have going on? It's not like they have houseplant football to talk about around a houseplant water cooler, or houseplant cars that they invite their houseplant friends to come over and work on with them, but not you, because they just assume that because you don't work on your own car that you wouldn't want to hang out with them and help them work on theirs. A small sample of test participants experienced a curse that made their head the wrong size for any hat they tried to wear. Consult your local thaumaturge if any of these symptoms persist longer than 6 weeks. Cassie, what's going on off-site?
There is currently a proposal for some minor clarification updates to the server rules for 19 Port, the SCP Wiki's official Discord server. They condensed some wording. The most substantive change is in Rule 7. To use the /call mod command for any issue or situations that may be unfolding instead of pinging individual mods. I think that will probably help to decrease mod response time for situations they need to get involved in. There's also admin team restructuring in the proposal to more closely mirror the structure of the team with those of the Wiki staff teams. All in all, great conversation and very timely as the server's user base grows after opening it up to the public. When I checked in on Sunday, there were almost 3,000 users online. Link in the show notes. Voting on the proposal closes on October 19th.
SCPeeps released a new short this past week for their highly praised SCP animated series, The Offshoot. The short is presented as a 60s-style PSA that gives a quick look at Site-19S, the offshoot site to the infamous Site-19, where the series is set in. Said PSA is presented by Vikander Technical Media, an anomalous media company created by wiki author Grigory Karpin that is somehow able to access classified information held by the Foundation and other groups of interest, which they then present through various forms of media. Here's a clip.
The Foundation secures, contains, and protects everything. But sometimes there's a little too much of everything. Too many useless anomalies and not enough space. Staff members giving you no end of trouble. Don't worry. The Foundation Offshoot program has a solution ready for you. Site-19S. No problem. We'll get them off your hands. Simply offload all of your problems into a different, less important site. Then you can go back to running the world from the shadows, like usual. Site-19S. Out of sight, out of mind.
The Exploring series is halfway through his month-long series covering the ABCs of death, where for every day in October, he releases a new video covering a different entry in last year's alphabetized horror anthology. At the end of the month on Halloween, he's going to release a full combined compilation of all the videos, which is said to be roughly 10 hours long. Kelsey, Cassie, do you guys have any favorites from the anthology?
I had to go with D is for dermatology. That one, so the honorable mention to M is for Moonlight, because M is for Moonlight I think had the best like overall creepy vibe, especially like with its own lore within the story. But D is for dermatology had a really well played subversion in the dialogue, and it's a year old now, so I don't care if I give it away. Go watch it and experience it for yourself on Explorer series. But you got a guy and he's experiencing like phantom pain with insects crawling under his skin, and he's making like phone calls and leaving voicemails for his therapist like, hey, I need your help, you know, when you did the thing with the mirror or whatever. And as it goes further and further through the story and you listen to more and more of the voicemail messages, he starts to get more and more desperate, and you really start to get the vibe that this dude is like creeping on her really hard. And it kind of leaves off like that, and then you get to the ending and there's a twist at the ending where you're just like, holy also trigger warning, very graphic self-harm involved in this one. Very extremely graphic self-harm. If that triggers you, stay the fuck away. But when you get to the end of it, wow, what a twist. So yeah, D is for dermatology. That was my favorite one.
Cassie?
I mean, he's not going to do it, but Unredacted has covered it, and I don't really think anybody should ever touch it again. but I mean, P is for Primrose is just, that's it for me. We all know this. We all understand how much I worship at Primrose's feet.
Very specifically at her feet.
Yes,
Yeah.
very, very, very specific.
Very
specifically.
We at SCP Weekly don't kink shame, so you know, whatever fits for you, as long as it's consensual.
Whatever fits, as long as it has a flared base.
Jesus Christ.
Colin, how about you?
Cassie just told herself a dirty joke.
Yeah, yes, I did. Oh, yeah, I did. That's gonna be great. I'm so proud of myself. High five, me. Colin?
for me, with the ABCs of Death, it kind of comes between two articles, really. I mean, there's a bunch of them that are just phenomenal. Like Days for Dermatology, incredibly well done, like Kelsey said. But the two that kind of come to mind for me, that kind of take a top spot, is M is for Moonlight, because it's not a long one, but it's so effective in giving, like, that subtle build-up to horror. So it's either between M is for Moonlight, and then there is Ga is for Gesundheit by Harry Blank. It's a good story about superstitions and, all in all, the power of belief, and how, for better or worse, it can have serious prominence in people's lives. For anyone who hasn't read any works by Harry Blank, check it out. Go read the Site 43 canon. Again, he writes a bunch of it. His work is incredible. Go check it out and do yourself a favor.
Go read them Canadian skips, eh?
Eh?
So, Kelsey, didn't you say that you spoke with Koshi recently?
I did. Let me talk this interview in real quick. So, Koshi is the illustrator and writer for Confinement Comics, which he's basically continuing the story that was left abandoned by Lord Bung on YouTube in a comic book format. So let me pull up the clip, and excuse my voice on this because I didn't even realize at the time how congested I was, but I definitely sound like I have a cold in this interview. Here we go. Well, I'm sitting here with Koshi, talking Confinement Comics. Koshi is the artist and writer for the adaptation of Lord Bung's YouTube series Confinement, bringing it to the comic book world. Koshi, how did you get to where you are right now with Confinement Comics?
Well, originally it started out of just a feeling of betrayal towards what Bung had done. Not only did they just up and leave, they up and left after getting $400,000 of Patreon money and just making us wait for 4 years. I'd been a fan since episode 1, and I kept waiting and waiting and waiting. I was patient about it, you know? After finding out that we'd never get any more and seeing what they had wasted all of those people's time on, it really just stirred something in me. So I went ahead and storyboarded it, posted it on Reddit. A lot of people were interested. I made a Discord for it, had a sizable following for somebody that just appeared out of nowhere, and I posted daily updates with that because transparency is important to me because of what happened with Bung and everything. I think the community deserves that. And now I'm in talks with a publisher to make it into comics.
Tell us a little bit about the direction that you're taking Confinement, because obviously Bung got through, what was it, 7 episodes or like 6 in a 2-parter or something like that. Are you going the same direction, or are you taking it somewhere completely new?
I am going to sort of follow the same outline as Bung. Like, for example, episode 1, chapter 1, they're pretty similar. They're the basic same structure, a lot of the same dialogue. The main difference is that I expand on certain scenes, so I can elaborate on scenes a lot better than Bung had the opportunity to.
And what about the story? Because we talked a little bit before. It sounds like you're kind of tweaking it a little bit and taking it in your own direction.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things in the series that Bung had sort of placed in, which were kind of foreshadowing for some of the creepy behavior they, later pour into that episode 8 draft that was leaked. So I'm sort of changing some of the stuff that can be portrayed as a little bit creepier and changing a couple elements to the story overall just to sort of make it fit better with a different endpoint that I'm sort of reaching towards with the series. Because I do want it to actually have an ending. I'm not going to drag it on forever. I think people need closure. And there are certain scenes that are going to be just added for foreshadowing and stuff of future events.
So what should readers expect from the comic? One for one, episode for episode, until we get to where Bung left off, and then it's completely new material at that point?
For the most part, yes. I am planning on having every single episode be its own chapter, because I feel that's a pretty good pace to go by. After IKEA, it's all going to be original from me. I've seen Bung's notes that have been leaked from their drafts. I personally think I'll take it in a different direction, because I may have the notes, but I don't have the full context of what they're planning. So I think it's better to just sort of have it be original, so I have all the pieces to what I need to do.
We're all, I think, really excited to see what you're going to do with Confinement Comics. And so you said you're working with a new publisher. Distribution, do you have any idea about how, what channels comic book is going to be available yet?
Well, we're mostly hoping to majority go through digital storefront. We are talking about possibly sending it to some wholesalers and brick and mortar stores, but right now we're mostly focusing on the digital distribution.
Okay, we are going to keep up with what you're doing very closely over the next couple of weeks, and we'll make sure that everybody knows exactly where to pick those comics up. Koshi, thank you so much for stopping by. Is there anything else you want the listeners and potential readers out there to know?
I'm not going to leave. I'm not, just like my Twitter says and anything, hung not bung. I'm not bung. I'm not going to leave. I've got a very strong sense of responsibility, especially when it comes to something I've started and when I have eyes on me. And this is something I'm planning on finishing, trying to get it out there to the people, so the people that were also betrayed, my fellow betrayed, and get some sort of resolution.
It's awesome that you've already built a community around it as well. Koshi, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you, and we'll be checking in with you over the next couple of weeks.
All right, thank you for having me.
Cassie, I want to know what your thoughts are on that.
I knew that it had, I had watched all of them, it's just a thing. I didn't realize a lot of that was happening, and in looking for what was going on with Lord Bung in over the last few months, and Confinement Comics and Reddit is great for everything. And so that's a whole fucking lot. I do like that.
I was gonna say I haven't read it, so I don't.
The soft core exploits of Connor version.
Oh, I thought you meant the notes for the episode.
So earlier I talked about big news. Smooth Cadence Productions.
Yes.
Where we fall under that with our big sister podcast, SCP Unredacted.
Yeah.
There is a new member of the Smooth Cadence Productions family.
Oh.
And that's Confinement Comics.
Hey!
So
Hey!
Confinement
Amazing.
Comics is going to be published by Smooth Cadence Productions. That's the other thing that's been eating my life for the last 2 weeks. Is getting a team together to get this thing actually published and make sure that we take care of it. So there's one member of the team that I haven't solidified yet, and it's just because of outside employment issues. But Koshi is writer, illustrator, creative director. I'm head of operations with Smooth Cadence Productions. Storyboard review is our friend Fantem. Editor, TBD, and then community outreach director, that guy right there, Nolan.
Oh, that's me.
That guy right there.
The first 3 issues, we've already gone through the storyboarding process. They follow the story, Bung episode for episode that Bung wrote. However, caveat, we treat the actual SCPs with a little bit more respect. They're a little bit closer to how they were originally written. They act more in the way that they were originally written. Some of the interpersonal relationships are going to change a little bit throughout the series. We're going to do a little bit of different stuff with Infinite IKEA, and obviously beyond the Infinite IKEA, that's already in the story arc and character arc drafting process and some of the dialogues being written. So the Kickstarter for episode 1 is going to launch in a week on October 22nd. It's going to end on December 22nd, I think, and that's when we ship first edition of Volume 1, Issue 1. And we're trying to stick to the $13 price point for the physical comics. We're not producing a web comic. We're not producing any digital content that you go and you click on, you look on your computer screen. I'm going to hold it in my hand comic book. I'm in the process of narrowing down printers right now. I've got it down to the top 2, and I should have it narrowed down to the printer of choice by, I think, the end of this week. And that's another part of why I've been so dug into Amazon all weekend, is trying to get the print-on-demand integration set up for Confinement Comics. And it came out of, I did an interview with him about a week and a half ago for this episode, and he was talking about his publisher. He had a previous publisher. He was talking about him, and I was familiar with him. I'd done some business with him in the past, and I kind of gave him a heads up, like, hey, if they start doing anything a little weird, I've had to deal with them before. They're all about the business. Just be business-like. And he, no kidding, messaged me the next day, and he was like, hey, things are getting weird with these guys. So I kind of dug into him a little bit, looking for the receipts. And yes, this publisher was Discordia. And I'm just kind of seeing a history of them not treating people in the community very well. And not just like the SCP creative community, but like their own customers, people have given them money on their Kickstarter. So I'm not going to get into drama. I'm not going to throw opinions out there. I'm just going to read the receipts from some of the things that they've said online in response to somebody who didn't get all their Kickstarter rewards that they paid for. Hi, since you're new to Kickstarter, let me tell you, buddy, I did a fantastic job fulfilling 700 orders from this event. The extended event and the retail sales over the last 6 months with a staff of none. I personally bought goods on Kickstarter that took years to reach me. I kicked so much ass on this one, and being new here, you have no idea. Guess this place is just not for the faint of heart. Anyway, enjoy your book. And then on the subject of paying artists, why should we pay artists who already contribute endlessly to a fan base for the sheer love of it? It's all going to be in Creative Commons and free for anyone else to use in any way they see fit. So we're hesitant to cover the cost of art that the rest of the planet gets to use for free and profit from our investment. If fans want to make fan art and become published artists through us, we're more than happy to gift them some cool gear from the fandom they love. If artists in general are just fishing for paychecks, this is the wrong fandom to fish in, flat out. And I'll say this. I will throw this opinion out there. That last statement, if artists in general are just fishing for paychecks, this is the wrong fandom. I agree with that. If you're fishing for a paycheck, but that's not what's happening in this situation. In this situation, you've got an entity, a company who has packaged up someone else's creative work and is selling it for revenue, for a profit. And people are asking them, why aren't you sharing that with the artists who created the art to begin with? That's not artists fishing for paychecks. That's people actually legitimately wondering why artists aren't being paid for the art that contributed to the revenue. So that spun me up, and I was like, you know what? I'm a business major. I do this, for a living. I have 2 companies that I'm already running. Can I figure out a model? Can I develop a business model where the creator can get paid, and a model that's like a legitimate model that can operate in the Creative Commons space? Because somebody could take Confinement Comics and they could go to a printer, they could print everything off, and as long as they give us the credit for creating it, as long as they give us, Smooth Cage Production Koshi, credit for publishing it, they can sell as many copies of that as they want to. So how do we develop a business model that works in that environment? And I'm dialing it in. I don't think we're 100% there yet, but I'm dialing it in. But whatever it is, it's going to be better than these guys. And I really, really want to bring my talent for that kind of thing into the community to be able to help the artists actually get some revenue from what they're doing. Because you can't put gas in your car with product. You can't put gas in your car with exposure. You can't pay your electric bill. You can't buy groceries with product and exposure. You can do it with money, though. And I'm trying to find an equitable way to do that for the creators. So here we go. Confinement Comics. Support it. Our goal for the Kickstarter is to sell 500 copies on the first edition. So you'll see it starting to get pushed in about a week.
You have a lot of very big feelings about this, don't you?
Yeah. This is coming from deep within.
This is a lot of large feelings happening here. That was a half an hour of feelings.
It's just sincere bullshit that it's like people use it, like people like Discordia using the fact that it's like SCP is under Creative Commons as like, oh, that means I don't have to pay you.
And I'll say, the model that they use, their model works. It just doesn't work to fully integrate the creator into the rewards process. Not good enough for me. I think I can do better. And you talked about Creative Commons. I'll bring this up about because I've already had a couple people comment. Well, you guys are doing kind of the same thing with Confinement. You're taking Bung stuff, you're repackaging it, and you're turning around and selling it. Somebody said something about picking up Bung's failed project. There's nothing about Confinement as a creative project that failed. Confinement itself never failed. Confinement was beautiful. Confinement was absolutely amazing, and everybody loved it. It was the creator who abandoned their project, and basically, I don't want to get into a fucking shit fight with Bung if this ever gets to them, but they took the money and ran. 4 years of people waiting for, or however many years of people waiting for more content while they were still paying those Patreon subscriptions. I am A-okay with number one, repackaging that and selling it for an artist who's actually going to treat the skiffs with respect, treat Confinement with respect, and treat the community with respect. 100% okay with that. And I'm 100% okay with not even letting Bung know that we're doing it. They'll eventually find out, I'm sure.
If they haven't already.
Yeah, it's kind of a case of
come at me, bro.
And I kind of hate I kind of hate this phrase, but it's kind of a time of like separating art from the artist, and that phrase is kind of problematic. But for this, it kind of fits because, like you said, Confinement, the creative idea, the concept in and of itself was far from a failure. It was something that was loved by so many people across the community, on and off site.
Yeah, for good reason. It was great. I don't want to get into Bung's personal life, like all of the drama that surrounded that. Like Bung had reasons, right? There were reasons for the exit. Got it. But that little product, Confinement in itself, was just left out there in the cold. And what I really like about it, and Koshi said in the interview, is there will be an ending point because the Confinement community deserves closure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There was so much it felt like it was building up to regarding like why the fuck Connor is immortal, like some kind of cultish background that seems to be associated with it, and the whole series at that point was left up high and dry. No one got a definitive answer to what the fuck happens. So I think like this is actually a good way to like not only continue that, but also finally give closure. Basically saying like, yeah, this is gonna be how everything wraps up in the story, whether or not it's gonna be necessarily good, the characters in universe or not.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm excited to play a part in it. I say at the end of every unredacted episode, I don't have the talent it takes to write a skip. I never have. I don't think I ever will be able to write at the level that some of these guys are writing at, but I do want to apply my talents that I do have to help.
I was just going to say, you do have the talent to help them get money.
Absolutely. So that's what I want to do. Well, that was our opinion piece for this week. Nolan, you want to take us to socials and talk about our opinion piece from last week?
Woo.
Last week we ran an opinion piece on moving the rating module to the bottom of the pages, and it was our most interactive piece that we've done on our socials so far, with like 99 votes.
I think that's more people than actually listen to the podcast.
Yeah. From the 99 votes on that poll, 47% voted yes, 34% voted no, and roughly 18% voted meh, I'm not a rater, I don't really care either way.
Scrubs.
we got a no. And we got a few opinions from some authors and viewers on it as well. Ancient Shuffle said, I'm voting yes only because staff forced me to put the rating on top of my article and it ruined its look. Grigori Karpin said, I honestly always put them on both the top and bottom. People were telling me they frequently forget to rate something after reading, so that was my reasoning. And again, that is fair.
Yeah.
Fierce Fauna said, if it discourages downvotes by those who didn't even bother to read or even skim the article, maybe. I often worry about general bias. And our show favorite, Fantem, wrote, both. It should always be on the top because of content warnings, but I can definitely see an argument for an additional rating module on the bottom for folks who forgot to rate.
Yeah.
Which, again, honestly is fair because
I like it.
you start at it, you want to give people certain content warnings. So basically saying like, hey, if you have some personal feelings towards this kind of content, this isn't going to be for you. It's best if you probably step out while you can.
I can't tell you how many times I missed a content warning on No Sleep, and regretted the rest of my... I'm regretting it years later. I will regret it until I die. I've read things I cannot unsee, and they give me nightmares.
Speaking of things that give you nightmares.
And now, the sound of salamanders making sweet, sweet, juicy love.
What is this? I don't know. We're stuck here and we don't know what's going on and this picture, what does it mean? That's auto-orientated. We died. We didn't die. How do you know? If we had died, how would we? Because it makes no sense.
Because I'm sitting here talking to you, and because my feet are cold and I'm hungry. Maybe that's what it's like.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's heavy. That bass was fucking dropped so hard. It's in the hollow of center of the
I
earth.
love this stuff.
Woo.
Never misses.
Billith never misses, but man, some of the stuff he writes, I miss for sure. Like, dude, what were you talking about?
Dude, that's literally every time that he writes a new article, he messages me it, I read it, and I'm like, I love it, but I need you to explain to me word for word what the fuck is going on.
And then he gives you some cryptic bullshit like all the clues are in the article.
Yes! Yes! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Billith, why are you like this?
I don't know. I love it. I love it. I love Billith for who he is.
We cannot even get to it. I can't see the level. It's just... And now that I know what happens in the water, I will never drink it again. Apparently Billith Billith happens in the water. I do not recognize the Dutch person in the water.
Oh man, I was gonna
Nope.
get a
Don't
giant
recognize
bucket
the
and
Dutch
sit here next to it with my finger in there and just hold the water in the whole time.
Why are you like this? You know, you just want to do it to make a visual joke because everybody else has made it in text. Look at you absolute nerd. Why are you like this? I hate you. The whole time.
Why the
We
fuck
could
did
all
we agree
do
to
that.
do this show with you?
Because you knew shit like this was gonna happen.
What did we get ourselves into? Why would we agree to this?
Kelsey,
Yes.
we're all autistic, but I don't think we're your level of autistic right now.
I've had years of practice.
We're all different flavors of autism.
We're all different
and-
flavors on that JoJo spectrum.
But so, I do have a dad joke.
Yes, I was expecting that joke.
Hi, Dutch.
I was promised one.
You were?
I think I was.
Who's making promises?
Oh no, I was promised a fun fact about something. I don't know.
That must have come from Billith.
Probably.
I blame Billith.
Goddamn, we were just talking about fucking Billith. Billith.
Billith's making promises. Okay. Why does a chicken coop only have 2 doors?
Oh no.
It's gonna be awful.
Oh God, save us. Please, just take me out back.
Because if it had 4 doors, it would be a chicken sedan.
Oh god.
Get
I
the
was
fuck
just
out of my
thinking-
house!
Damn it.
Get it!
My brain literally just went to it's gonna be a car joke sedan or some shit.
Kelsey, just because your dad and you force your crotch spawn to listen to this doesn't mean you have to force us to, okay?
We're gonna have one dad joke an episode, aren't we?
Not if you guys just keep treating me like this. I'll keep my dad jokes to myself.
Not like this. Look, we haven't treated you worse.
You-
This very specific.
I like my dad jokes.
Hating your dad jokes is gonna make you take your dad jokes and go
I'm gonna
home.
take my dad jokes and leave.
Kelsey,
I'm gonna
just
take
because-
all of Smooth Cadence and go home.
If you keep acting like this, we're gonna turn around the chicken sedan.
Turn this chicken sedan around. We're all in the chicken sedan with Kelsey, and he's looking over his shoulder, going, "Don't make me come back there." And he's got a
That's
fly
the
swatter.
second person in the SCP community that has threatened me with this in the last week, because the first one was Sherm. The first one was Sherm on Twitter when we were having the podcast feud. Got a retweet, got a quote tweet from Sherm. It was like, "I will turn this van
I
around."
saw that.
My bad, Sherm. It's all in good fun.
Oh my god.
Everyone calls you daddy. That doesn't give you the right.
Let's introduce our special guest.
I'm special.
Drowning Dutchman, as some would say, certainly an author, is most well known for hit SCPs such as That Sad One with the Dog, The Gay Knights, and Nolan doing whatever the hell he wants.
Nolan's having technical difficulties again. He's gonna have to refresh.
It's the Dutch again.
You done.
What? Sometimes we just eat people, and other times we just fuck with the internet, I guess.
No, nobody expects these Drowning Dutchman.
Wait. Go back to the first. Go
There it
back to that
goes.
first thing again.
Oh yeah, in like 1672, the Dutch ate their prime minister.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
The one thing about that is like debated is whether people took home parts of him to cook it first, or just ate it at the scene. That's the debated part, not the cannibalism.
I was gonna ask you about windmills, but this is a much more interesting topic.
Oh my.
Interesting topics.
All right.
All right.
Are we ready for Don't Blink? Okay, Dutch, we'll keep using the D20 for investigation check,
Chunker.
and you'll get a... Huh? Oh, the chunk. Yep. and you'll get a 0.5 multiplier on your roll, and that's how long you have to view the image.
Oh.
Are you ready to go?
Knowing my luck in D&D and rolling, especially since I literally had a D&D game today, rolls didn't go well, so...
It's a good thing you're not touching this dice, probably.
Very good thing. Oh, Inception.
All right, Kelsey.
All right.
We're gonna tell him when you want him to stop.
Stab.
It gets more entertaining.
4. Yeah, my vibes. I am so good at rolling.
0.5 multiplier, you get 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
2. Ready? Are you?
Let me get it. Let me get it.
Concentrate.
All right, there it is. Okay.
You gotta concentrate on this one.
Okay. Now you get 10 seconds to describe it.
So,
And go.
the general shape of a person with a box for a face. The box is kind of weird, gray shape. Probably there's like some distortion in the little bit part. That's like the bust, and that's most of it that I got in.
All right.
I do not know what it represents. The general shape of a person, that's the vibe. But
the general shape of a people.
Box for a face.
Okay.
Are they? Yes. If general shape of a person, are they Dutch?
The Dutch are generally not shaped like normal people because they're way too long. Elongated humanoid.
Are Endermen Dutch people?
I don't know. No, because they don't hang out in the Nether, do they? Oh, I get a new roll. Stop. Yay! I'm gonna roll a Yahtzee. Don't at me. I'm not even playing that game. I'm gonna get a Yahtzee.
Don't at me.
That's 4 again. All right, here we go.
Field of black.
Ooh.
Skulls. Skulls.
Skulls.
Skulls. Skulls in the dark.
Skulls in the Dark sounds like a great band
Yeah,
name.
it does.
Okay.
Oh man.
We're playing
Now
Skulls
the
in the
third one.
dark. The third one.
Kelsey, I also think it has something to do with the way you roll that thing.
I was about to say, if this is
We're
another
gonna need-
4...
It has 20 sides.
If it's another fucking 4, it's you got it with your face. If it's another 4, it's your fault.
Stop. No, okay. Another 4.
That's an 11.
Okay.
It was a lot.
Better than a 4. Didn't get fucking tic-tac-toe on this
This is a
one.
good one. This is a good one for 5.5
A good
seconds.
one.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'll tell you when it comes up.
Tell me when it comes up.
I'll also tell when it comes up. Kind of important.
Yeah.
There
tell
it
me.
is. Oh, yeah. Fucking... Of course.
Oh, fucking of course.
Of course, this is something like this you have to make these. No, it's... I'm pretty sure, because it's Love Wins, it's pretty much the concept of the Foundation flirting with the concept of the box. The box we put things in, the same...
I really like that interpretation.
I do too. I really do.
Especially in the context of what it actually is.
Oh no!
Yeah. Oh.
Am I gonna hear what all of these actually are?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
So we do that part now.
My interpretation, I like my interpretation for the last one.
I do too.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just a new
So do
meaning
we.
now.
Okay. So the first one. Let's go back
What's
to
the
it.
box, man?
So Boxman is actually
Boxman.
Boxman is 9 of Cups by Land 2D,
Oh, nice.
and this was for Inktober.
Oh, yeah.
Ian made great pictures.
Yeah. So cube head, people body, kind of cubist Like even the background's got some cute
I
shapes
could
in
have
it.
also added tentacles.
Yeah. This one is a victim of low resolution.
I told you. I thought there were more skulls, but it's skull.
I did too.
That is actually
yeah.
Agent Shuffle's interpretation of SCP-106, the old man.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
no wonder it's
Emerging
black
from
and
the
it's
asthma.
blacky inky
Yeah.
skull. I thought there were more skulls, but yeah, that makes sense.
That's fair though. I can see what you see.
And then number 3.
We all know number 3.
Do we though?
Oh boy,
Oh, fine.
do we ever?
All right, number 3.
I did not need 5 seconds.
Kelsey has a close personal relationship with this picture.
So this picture is
Oh god, I think I figured out what it actually is.
What do you think it actually is,
I'm
Dutch?
pretty sure it's some unredacted fan art. Is it
Yeah.
with Sherm or am I being an idiot? It's
No.
a podcast or something.
So this is this is fan art by Tina, aka Mascarato, on Twitter, and it was a result of the unredacted SCP Weekly feud, beef, whatever you want to call it, on Twitter. Which, again, cat out of the bag. That was totally me, 100%. I was just switching back and forth accounts, trying to get. Yeah, that's it.
That's just how I talk to myself on a daily basis.
But yeah, no, man, if you knew what the voices inside my head were saying.
The voices.
But anyway, so Tina Mascarato on Twitter was like, man, you guys, I just want you to kiss and make up. And then
And that's our logos.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Unredacted's logo, and that's our logo, and those are our background colors, and it just fucking kills
I love
me.
this.
I cannot.
The only thing you can do to make up for the podcast drama is just kiss the mirror. Kiss and make up with yourself, I guess.
You say that like I've never done it before.
I mean, look at him. Of course he has.
I am just...
He might not be able to talk to himself, but he can probably look at himself.
With all the angels watching. Thank you so much, Tina. I know
Absolutely
the drama
beautiful.
was contrived, and you probably hate for me to say that, but this is an amazing piece of art, and I'm glad that it came out of it.
All right, I want to know which 2 truths and a lie happened with CD.
And now it's 2 truths and a lie. Here we ask and or blackmail a wiki author to tell us 2 facts about themselves along with 1 lie. And you, the audience, get to guess which is the lie. Last week, CD, I think, gave us this host of horrors. 1. I was in my first building fire this July. 2. I have never, despite years of edgy music and 1 candelabra, dyed my hair black. And 3. I own a conservative minimum of 3 possum skulls.
All right, so I changed my answer because my initial answer was dyeing her hair black, but I changed it to the building fire. So I'm like 80%, and I don't know why I think this, but I'm like 80% that CD is not just blonde, but very blonde. And I come from a family of a lot of blondes, and I know that if you dye your hair black as a blonde, it's very hard to maintain, and it costs a lot. And CD does not strike me as the kind of person that would do something like that, like impulsively without thinking it through. So I changed my answer to the building fire.
I think the lie is the fire, because I don't think it was the first building fire. I don't think this was the first building fire they've been in.
Yes, the classic Half-Life.
Right? Nolan?
My pick was the skulls, but only because I don't think that it was a lie that they have a possum skull collection. I think it's a lie that the conservative count for them was 3.
Dutch?
Oh shit. Yeah,
You didn't think you'd have to play.
We need you to pay attention, Dutch!
I'm going for the hair dye. The hair dyeing one says that she never dyed her hair black, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm going for that one because while she seems, I don't think she seems the type for dyeing her hair all black.
And on Twitter, we put out a Twitter poll last week, and the responses were that it was a tie between the building fire and dyeing her hair black. They were 40% each, and then 20% said possum skulls. And the answer is the lie was indeed the black hair.
Hey! I knew it.
All right. I was sure there were multiple building fires and CDs passed.
Because I have actually done it as a youngin'. I have dyed my hair black and it was a mess. It wasn't fun to grow out.
You're a mess.
I am a mess.
I'm not surprised.
I am a mess.
You are a walking, talking mess.
I am a mess.
All right. And now, the moment we've been waiting for.
Oh, and he's gone.
All right. And he's gone.
So, for my 2 truths and a lie, for number 1, that the first time I went to America, upon entering the country, I nearly immediately picked a fight with the TSA. 2, my tolerance for spicy food is so low that even if I just sniff it, I just turn tomato red. I just can't be around it. And 3, I once deleted a save file on a Nintendo 64 because I did not yet know what the word erase meant.
I believe that one is absolute truth.
Oof. I'm going with TSA on this one. No, don't tell us. Don't tell us, Dutch.
I'm not telling anything.
Okay, all right.
Don't say nothing to no one.
Do we have mail?
Woo! We're famous!
So, from Fern, got a message going. I love the banter y'all got going in this podcast. 3 best friends / idiots chatting around the bar table vibes. I'm happy to find a podcast that's SCP News. Haven't heard one in like a year.
Aw, thanks for calling us idiots. Love you too, buddy. I think he goes by Festus now. Festiva? Ficus?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ficus?
Michael?
Michael?
Full name is Michael.
And that's all we have for this week. Thank you all so much for joining us. Remember, patrons like Evan McDonell get more content at patreon.com/scpweekly. And since I didn't say his name last episode, I have to do it again now.
Evan McDonell.
It's totally worth $2, and your support helps us keep the lights on. Blackwood Presents was performed by John Whinfield. The sound of salamanders making love was actually There Is No More Outside by Slowgramming. Find it at soundcloud.com/slowgramming. Intro and outro music was As You Make the Bed by Amos Noah. The Deepwell was SCP-6679.
Rip!
Written by Justin Durin and performed by SiriusBacon. Thanks to Drowning Dutchman for teaching us nothing about windmills, but everything about historical cannibalism. And thanks to our sponsor, Dado's Sleepy Time Snooze 'em Up Pill. SCP Weekly is distributed by Smooth Cadence Productions. SCP Weekly is not affiliated with the SCP Foundation Wiki, and as such, the opinions presented in this program are our own and do not necessarily reflect those of the Wiki or its staff.
Music is provided by Epidemic Sound.
Content relating to the SCP Foundation, including the SCP Foundation logo, is licensed under Creative Commons Share-alike 3.0, and all concepts originate from the SCP Wiki and its authors. This recording, being derived from this content, is hereby also released under CC by SA 3.0. Until next time, I'm Kelsey.
I'm Cassie.
I can also still secretly teach you something about the windmills.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah, let's go.
So, you know how we have the modern windmills and the historic windmills?
Yeah.
The historic windmills, 90% of them are water pumps, and they still function as a backup for the modern system.
Oh, really?
So if the modern system were to fail, they could just immediately start up the old ones and just use the historic ones as actual water pumps.
Well,
Cool.
thanks to Drowning Dutchman
That's
for
neat.
Teaching us really cool shit about windmills.
Yeah,
Love it.
windmills be like that.
I would, however, like to hear more about the cannibalism.
Dutch people are savage.
Yeah, they are. Just don't agree with your politics.
Big,
Time to
giant,
get
savage
eaten.
white people.
This was a good night.
Later today, I'm going into a really boring meeting about homeowners. It's annoying.
Meeting about homeowners.
Ugh.
Oh, you made Kelsey's ears perk up.
No, I bought a home, and it's like an apartment in like it's like split up into 6 or something. So you have to like share.
Yeah, it's like a condo association meeting. Ew.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ew. And about the bylaws, Dutch, we're gonna have to ask you to keep the cooking of your politicians to your own space and not bring it to the common areas.
Dutch, there has been some concern about how gay you are.
We're gonna have to talk about all this twink energy you're bringing.
Just radiating out your door. Every time somebody walks by, they kind of just
whiff of the twink. They just immediately like, are they like bent head?
We're beginning to believe it's contagious. I'm gonna have to enact protocols.
Oh, can you see us in this thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you stay right there.
I'm staying.
So it's just me and you again.
Oh no. Am I gonna get more mind-blowing facts about flesh-eating plants?
Okay.
Cassie, did you know the Venus flytrap was native to North Carolina? That's the only place in the world they grow in nature. Is the peat bogs in North Carolina. That's where they come from.
I was waiting for a dad
No,
joke
that's
punchline. Okay. All right.
Real. And I also
All right. Speaking of 3D printers, would you like to see my favorite thing I've ever owned that has been 3D printed?
Do show me.
Let's go in the credits, Cassie.
Every day is a rabbit trap and a walk of the lamb. Do you think you can sue me for that? As a judge of the land, I'll go wherever you go. This life doesn't go well with me. I'm not a member of the band. Do you think you can like me despite that? Sitting on God's right hand, I'm alone. Take me home. As you make the bed, so we must lie. No one knows where the life force flows. No one knows where the next wind blows. All I know is that I'll follow you. Every day is a mouth bite and a gun to the throat. Feeling like a wing-clipped kite floating in a boat. I'll go the bed, so you must lie. As you make the bed, so you must lie.